The rules are fake. Do what you want. Screaming at the supermarket. Screaming at the DMV. They're often screaming at the park. Oh, you have to go to college. That's the only way you can make six figures. That's the only way. The rules are fake. Do what you want. I'm going to own a house by 25. I'm going to be like married by like 22. I was his parent. I would have snatched that little boy by the back of his neck. Hey y'all, welcome back to Through with a Splash of Tea, a podcast where we either speak to brilliant people, do this thing one-on-one, or have best friend chats with my best friend T. I'm your host Cass, and let's get right into it. So today I want to go over a 30 by 30, if you will. So this is a list of 30 ideals that I've picked up along the way throughout my 20s that really stuck with me by the time I turned 30, which was this past March. Okay, so let's get right into the list. So number 1, God first, always. This doesn't mean don't sin, just keep it cool. That is exactly what it sounds like. God first, always. Like, hello, just whatever. I wrote that also specifically for when I make bad decisions. So a lot of the times, I'm not going to lie. When I make a bad decision, I'll know that I'm going into this bad decision. Like, all right. Like, if I'm like on vacation and going to a place where I'm like, oh, this place looks kind of sketch, but let me just go and try it out. Like, I already know I'm making a bad decision. Or if I'm like hanging out with a friend that like, I don't know, doesn't always make the best decisions. And like, we're going out and like going out and like in one evening and we just going from place to place to place to place to place. Like, I know that I should probably head back home, but sometimes I'll still enjoy the outing. I'll still head out. So, and I know that's not just me. I know a lot of the times when we enter decisions, when we are talking to somebody that like isn't good for you or things like that, we know what we're doing. Like, we're not dumb. We're not kids. No, kids aren't dumb. Oh my gosh. Kids aren't dumb. But I meant we're not kids. Like, we're not immature. Like, we're old enough to know. Why did that just... Oh my goodness, I don't think kids are dumb. That's so bad. Oh my God. But yeah, like, we're mature enough to know right from wrong and when we're making bad decisions. So that's why I really made this one, like, God first, always, because in my 20s, if I was out, okay, like, if I'm out in a place where I know I'm not supposed to be, and like, somebody's like, yo, let's go somewhere else. Let's go to this other place. Da, da, da. Like, we're about to turn up there. Oh, I'm gonna go. And then if it goes into the night where we're like, oh, like, let's go to this place where it's like even sketchier or weird or like a straight, I'm gonna go. Because my thought process was like, if I'm already making a bad decision, it's like when you're late for class. If I'm late for class and my friend's like, yo, like, I gotta sorry to tell you, da, da, da. Sis, tell me right now, I'm already late for class. Like, let me know now. Or like, if you're late for school, I might as well stop at Dunkin' Donuts to grab a coffee because I'm already late. But it was like that in my early 20s. But now at 30, I try and like keep it cool with the bad decisions. If I know I'm going to make a bad decision, all right, Cass, like, we're not going to keep getting deeper into this bad decision. Like, you got a one-time goal. Make it fun. Like, have fun. But like, we're not going to keep getting deeper and deeper. So this is really for that. That's why I made this one. It was like, God first, always. Like, even in the times where you're sinning, you got to remember, like, bro, like, God's still up there. So keep it cool. Like, keep it cool. Like, sometimes we just do too much. So at 30, I'm trying not to do too much. This next one is one of my favorites. The rules are fake. Do what you want. The rules are fake. The rules are fake. I'm here to tell you that the rules are fake. Do what you want. That applies to your love life. That applies to your job. That applies to your parenting style. That applies to everything. That applies to everything. Do what you want. The rules are fake, bro. The rules are fake. People are like, you're like, I'm trying to make six figures, but I don't want to go to college. Oh, you have to go to college. That's the only way you can make six figures. That's the only way. The rules are fake. Do what you want. I'm about to quit my job. I really have this passion for this thing. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to pursue this thing. You can't do that. No, there's no way. You have to work a 9 to 5. You have to be able to put food on the table. There's no way you can do it if you don't work a 9 to 5 or if you don't work this job. You've been at this job for 6 years or 7 years or 10 years or 40 years. There's no... The rules are fake. Do what you want. I could keep going. Now the relationship one, you guys probably like, the rules are fake, do what you want, like date a married man, da da da. No, baby. Because now the rules are fake, do what you want. And that comes with an asterisk, as long as it's not hurting anybody. But other than that, yes, they're all fake, do what you want. But do what you want, that is the part that's on you. So that is the part where you have to make sure that your moral compass is aligned with how it's supposed to be aligned, that you know right from wrong, good versus evil. Like, you need to look within yourself and make sure that you, like, your moral compass is not shifted, is not shaken, that your hard boundaries are your hard boundaries, that your yeses are your yeses and your nos are your nos. As long as you know that, or as walk aligned with that as best you can, the rules are fake, do what you want. Like, you can do it. Like, nah, bro. Like, we have society has such, like, rules for us that, like, it was so easy for us to swallow when we were children, that we're like, okay, this is how I have to do this. This is how I have to do this. I have to work my 9 to 5 until I'm 65, and then I will retire, and then, oh, bro. The rules are fake. Do what you want. Do what you want. I love this person. This person loves me, but my family, and I have to make sure that I marry somebody with a high stature, and da da da. The rules are fake. Do what you want. Ugh. I could say that till my face turns blue. Do what feels good in your heart, but you got to make sure that that heart is aligned, and you have to make sure that that heart is aligned with what it needs to be aligned with, which is good, which is love, which is God, which is all that stuff. And even if you don't believe in God, just good, just aligned with good stuff. But it's hard for me to understand how you like know what good is if you don't know what God, like if you don't have a God or you don't believe in God. But that's not my fuck. Just even if you don't believe in God, just whatever your good is, just align whatever you do with that, and you'll be fine. You'll be good. Number 3. Oh, this one breaks my heart. Our parents were/are learning too. Our parents were learning too. Whenever I like think about that, or like I see that, or I read that, it makes me sad, because I feel like when I was younger, like I would never give my mother grace or my parents grace. I would like never, it would be like, oh, like they're just doing this because they want my life to be hard, or they're doing this because they want to be annoying, or like we would just blame them so crazy. And it's like, now as an adult, it's like, bro, you don't have all the answers once you turn 18, or once you become an adult, or whatever. Once you turn 18, once you turn 21, 25, 30, you never just like have all the answers. Now as an adult, I realize that you pick up some answers on your journey through life, on your interactions with people, talking to people, your experiences with the world. That's where you pick up the answers. So I thought, when I was a kid, I thought that once you became an adult, maybe like once you hit 21, because I didn't think really 18. I knew that was the adult number, but I was like, nah, that's too close to like the teenage numbers. That can't be it. So I thought like it was around like 21. Once you hit 21, you get like, you wake up and you have this epiphany, and you have like all the answers, and like you're like just an adult. Now you gotta literally go through the journey of life and pick up the answers. So through that journey is when you're learning. So our parents are always learning, because as long as you're here, you're going through your journey. So they were learning as they were raising us. And we as parents, well, no, we as adults, y'all as parents, are going to be learning as you're raising your kids. And us, we're going to be learning as we're going through this journey. Like, what? This is also when I thought, like, I'm going to own a house by 25. I'm going to be, like, married by, like, 22. Yeah, those things. Yeah, remember we, yo, we were crazy for thinking that. Like, and if you think that now, it's beautiful that you think that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna crush your dreams. You could be right. Okay. I love this next one. Because it's harsh, but it's true. Like, It is what it is. Love is everything, but it is not enough. I love that so much because it's true. Because it is true. And that goes both romantically and platonically. It's so true. It is so true. Love is everything. Love to me is the greatest thing that God gave to us. And I know that to be true because God is love. So I know that the greatest thing that God gave to us is love, is the ability to love, to be able to love, to be able to receive love, to be able to give love. Like, I know that. Like, I know that because God is love and he's the greatest thing to us. So love is everything. Love is everything. Love is everything. You find somebody you love, that's everything. But that is not enough to uphold a relationship. And that's just it. A romantic relationship or a platonic relationship. So I can love my husband. I will love my husband. But I also need to trust him. I need to allow him to be the man that he wants to be. I need to respect him. I need to think about him oftentimes before I even think about myself. I need to think about what he needs and how I can outlove him. Like, I need to be strategic with him. Like, love is beautiful. Love is great, but it is not enough to uphold a relationship. You need more than just love. And yes, you might say that to love somebody is to trust them already, or is to respect them already, or is to give them grace already. I'd combat that. I don't know if I combat that because I have loved people that I have not respected. I have loved people that I have not fully trusted. So, romantic or not, love is everything. Love is everything. It allows you to succumb to other people. It allows you to be vulnerable. It allows you to show your heart. It allows you to give your heart. It allows you to do so much, but it is not everything when it comes to relations with other people. And that's what life is. That's what journeying is. Because if life wasn't about other people, this is something that I want to touch base on. If life wasn't about us communicating and us having this journey with other people, then I feel like God would have just made Cass, or just made you, or just like we would have been alone. Like, we would have just been alone. It wouldn't be a world full of billions of people, bro. But we're supposed to be like, oh, I don't give a fuck about nobody. I'm just supposed to be in my house by myself. Like, if that was the case, isolation would have been the best. The isolation of COVID, we would have been booming. Everybody would have been happy and great and having a great time. 2020 was not your best time emotionally, mentally, probably even physically. Like, it probably wasn't. Like, and even if it was, like, you really, really mean to tell me that you think that you're supposed to be going through this journey of life solely isolated, solely alone, nobody to work with, nobody to talk to, nobody to text, nobody to DM, just you? No. 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 So life is so much about relationships. Life is about relationships with other people. The relationships you have with your mom, with your sister, with your brother, with your husband, with your cousin, with your coworker, with your boss. Life is so much about that. So in those relationships, love is everything, but it is not enough. That was so good, you guys. Oh, I love that one so much because it's so, so, so true. Okay, the next one. Ooh, this is for us. This is for us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the people with no kids. The aunties, the uncles, the ones that just the non-kid havers. Even if you're not an auntie or uncle, even if you're not surrounded by any kids, this is for us. Imaginary children are the simplest to raise. Oof. All right. I know all the parents are like, yeah, that's true. That it is true. It is true. It is true. So oftentimes when you don't have kids and you're out and, like, let's say a kid is screaming on an airplane, Or let's say a kid is screaming at the supermarket, screaming at the DMV. They're often screaming at the park, screaming at the movies. They're like this being so loud and rambunctious and obnoxious and all these things. And you look at the parent and you're like, why isn't that parent taming their freaking kid? What is going on? If I was his parent, I would have snatched that little boy by the back of his neck and let him know what's up. Like, come on. Like, give me that kid. Oftentimes, you will think that. But you must remember, imaginary children are the easiest to raise. So you might think that, yeah, I would have had that little boy tamed in a second. I can't believe he was flailing his arms in the middle of Walmart. No, baby. No. It is so much easier to say what you would have done when you're not the one in that situation or after the situation. And we know that because hindsight is 2020. So often we'll be like we as non-parents will be like, I don't understand how that parent is allowing their kid to do this or is allowing their kid to do this, or I don't understand how this kid is reacting that way. If I was the parent, I would have done this. If I was the parent, I would have done that. You don't have enough information to say that. And I know it sounds like, no, I know who I am, so I would have had it tamed. Yeah, but you don't know who that kid is. And you don't know who that mom is. So you don't know if this mom has been up since 6 a.m. and she actually is a mother of 5 and the other 4 babies are at the house with her sister who just happened to stop by, and she's so happy her sisters happened to stop by, and she just took one of them out to the grocery store just for 20 minutes to grab a few things, and she had no idea that Dylan was going to go crazy buck wild because he was the biggest helper this morning. But now he is throwing a tantrum over these Rice Krispie treats, and I've been up for hours and I just have nothing, and I tried to tame him and he's not listening, and I just need to get back home because my sister is still at the house watching all these kids and I know that they're running amok, and I just need to breathe. But you would have had Dylan in check like that. It's not fair. It's just not fair. And I'm not one of those people with no kids. I'm not one of those aunties that is always siding with the parents. Like, the parents always right. The parents, nah. Some of y'all parents be a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all parents be a little. But this one, the imaginary children are the easiest to raise. So when you see a kid going crazy and be like, I would have had him, just check yourself. Because you don't know. You have no idea. And to even get there, Dylan screaming on the floor, having a tantrum, 4-year-old Dylan, we had to get through 3.999, whatever, years of raising Dylan and going through his tantrums and going through this and going through that and his siblings. And it, like, you're making this judgment based on the standing or the standpoint that you are at right now. But you're giving the parent zero grace, zero kudos for what they've been through in order to get there in the years, and what they've been through in order to get there that day. Like, simply, it might... It's often not as simple as it seems. That's basically the theme of it. It's often not as simple as it seems, and we can sometimes make judgment, and this is across the board. We can sometimes make judgment too prematurely and without enough information. And that's what this is all about. Imaginary children are the simplest to raise. That's us making judgment. That's a group of people, non-parents, making judgment on a parent in a situation where we don't have enough of the facts. Okay, so the last one I want to do for this episode is listen more than you speak and with your heart. That's so good. Yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Listen more than you speak and with your heart. So there's a reason that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And I think that's like a saying. And I think that's true. I think we are meant to listen to others more than we speak. And I think we are meant to do so in a place of grace, in a place of non-judgment, in a place of trying to be genuine to that person, whether they be a friend or not. Um, yeah, I think that's really important. And I think if you focus on trying to do that in conversations, it will alleviate a lot of friction or a lot of arguments or a lot of combating. If you enter most of your conversations like, okay, I need to enter this from a place of listening and from a place of being genuine and a place of love, and doing it with my heart, really, then it'll allow you to be not so like on the defense. A lot of the times, a lot of time we feel like someone's coming at us, but like, no, if you listen with your heart and like listen from a genuine place, then I think it makes things a lot easier. And I think we should be listening more than we're speaking, listening to one another, listening to other people, listening to new ideas, listening to new concepts, and like trying to dissect them and learn more. I think I think there comes so much with listening. There comes so much with listening, so much learning, so much digestion, whether it be reading, because listening is just like taking in information, let's be honest. So reading, you're taking information, watching TV, you're taking information. That those are a lot of things where you're not the one speaking, you're not the one initiating, but you're receiving a lot. And in the receiving is where so much learning happens. So yeah, I think that's so important. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to end this episode here. I'm going to let you guys know now this is going to be a two-part episode. So both today and tomorrow will be this part of this series, the 30 by 30, 30 things I learned by 30. And I don't know if I'm going to pick it up next week or if it'll be the week after, but I'm going to film this one. Obviously, I just filmed this one right now, and then I'm going to film part 2 right after this. So it'll be today's episode and tomorrow's episode. I have to like remember to say today and tomorrow because I'm not filming it on the actual drop day, but it needs to sound like I'm filming. Yeah, so today's episode and tomorrow's episode will be the same like get up because I'm about to film tomorrow's episode right after this. And then after that, next week will probably be like something else, and then we'll finish this series and keep going. But I really like dissecting these because these are like, this is so true. Like these are like the rules that I try and live by now. Like it didn't take me, like, it's not like at 30 I got these, but by the end of my 20s, I was starting to gather like, okay, like what are the like concepts that like the string of concepts that I keep diving into, whether it be like podcasts or book themes, or like what are the concepts that I keep wanting to learn more about and that interest me and that I think align with the God that I believe in. And that is what this list is. So thank you guys for watching. Watch or listen to part 2 tomorrow. And next week will probably be something different, but I will definitely finish this series of the 30 things I learned by 30. Thank you for watching if you watched. Thank you for listening if you listened. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those fun things. And yeah, thanks so much. Cass is out.